Hello, all you wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. Today I have a little bit of a haul to show you. The past weekend, past Saturday to be exact, I went video game shopping with a friend to a bunch of video game shops around a specific area. And yeah, so that is what I will be showing off today, and so let's switch to the table view and get into this. Hello everyone, welcome to the table view. um, so I'm gonna start with cause I got a few books and magazines and stuff to fill in a little bit of my Nintendo Power collection. So I'll start with showing off that stuff first, and then I'll move into the games afterwards. I'll go ahead and take this out of the package. Say package, but it's more or less just a bag. And we have a official Nintendo Power, official Nintendo Player's Guide for Star Fox 64. I have a few of these Nintendo official Player's Guides and figure I would kinda add to it. I don't exactly have Star Fox, though. We do got a little poster. Well, this is more of a strategy kind of thing, not really a for fun poster, I guess, but yeah. And yeah, so I don't actually have Star Fox 64, but could be a game I pick up in the future, and I just get to add it along to the other Nintendo official player's guide that I have. But yeah. You guys won't mind the crinkle sounds of these. Now this is just ridiculous. They put this in like an oversized bag. But yeah, we got the Nintendo Power. This has a little bit of, I guess, sort of gunk on it. It could use a little bit of wipe down. But I got the official Nintendo's player guide for Perfect Dark as well. Another Nintendo 64 game that I do not have. Has a little bit of wear on the sides, but as far as the book itself, it seems to be held together quite good still. So, in my opinion, it is not in terrible condition. And what is this? It's like a comic book inside a strategy guide? Well, that's interesting. Was not really expecting that, to be honest. But okay, that is kinda cool. And you got your typical kinda strategy guide stuff. never really played any, and a continuation of the comic book. I don't know specifically what this is, but I definitely like what I'm seeing. I had no idea this was mixed in with the strategy guide, so that is kind of neat. Darkly entertaining 32-page comic that goes beyond the game's story. So, that is kind of neat. I think for both these guides, I think I paid I just don't know. So here we go. This is gonna have to get the package, or I may just take it out of the package at some point, but so now we are gonna get into the Nintendo Power stuff, which that tape is no good. Should probably keep it sealed, but okay. I do think this could have a hint of water damage, though. So let's go ahead and see this. Oh yeah, that is. Okay, I will have to make a note, but luckily this was not that expensive, but this is pretty water damage. This is a Nintendo Power Advance number 3. There were only 4 volumes in this spin-off Nintendo Power magazine series. So yeah. This one is going to be honestly junk, but until I can replace it with better, I at least have it in there. But yeah, this thing is pretty trashed. So yeah, I'm probably going to make a note that this is going to need replaced. At least I think from when I was going through all these, I think this is the only one that was relatively like that. The other ones feel more normal. I don't think I need to take these out though, but so we have Nintendo Power. This is volume number, this is 268. So yeah, we are now finally getting, I don't have a whole lot in the 200s area, like I have a lot from like 190 and below, but when it starts to get above 190, I don't really have a whole lot of the issues, so that's where some of these were picked up from. And this is issue 208, where the Final Fantasy III an epic for the ages on Nintendo DS. So they're talking about the Final Fantasy III remake on the DS. So yeah, I actually had that game back around when it came out. So I think I played at least like halfway through it. Then we got number 199, Nintendo Power special Wi-Fi issue. It's free, it's easy, it's worldwide. Wi-Fi on DS changes all the rules. Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. I never messed with the whole Nintendo Wi-Fi on the DS or 3DS too much. This is obviously in the era of the DS. But yeah. Right. Animal Crossing. One Nation Underdog. Join us. Mario Kart. How do you say eat my dust in Hungarian? Okay. Tony Hawk. Wi-Fi paves the earth. Some of them things. Now we get to start to get into some of the more interesting ones. This one is Nintendo Power. This is specifically the March-April 1990 issue, which is issue 11 in the Nintendo Power series. Super Mario Bros. 3 is, well, obviously the cover of this. This one does have a little bit of like that's kind of a tear, but as far as the book itself, it feels pretty sturdy. It does have its poster as well. This one was probably the most expensive book, as it was like around $43 or something for this book. Then we have the September-October 1988, which would have been Nintendo Power issue 4. Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, 14 pages of glory. Now there is a little bit of some people, well, obviously this does affect the value of it, but it has this like Mario sticker on the cover. I personally don't mind that. Somebody at some point that owned this magazine decided to slap a Mario sticker on the cover. But yeah. Then we have... Wait. Okay, I got these a little bit backwards. This is issue 4. Or no, this is issue 2. And this is issue 4, which would have been January, February 1989. So yeah. So yes, I do have issue 2 now. I did previously show off issue 1 in my read-through of some of the Nintendo Power books. Then I had to like jump to 7 just because I didn't have any of the earlier ones. So now I have 2 and issue 4 and issue 11. So yeah. That is all the books that I have. Whoops. Like I said, probably should have noticed the water damage. Like I should have been able to tell from just feeling just feeling the book, but I'll mark it down as need and replace for later, and I'll keep an eye out for, because like I said, it wasn't that much anyways. Most of them Nintendo Power stuff, wherever, other than the earlier issues, the later issues, they were about $10 a piece. So, nothing really major. Let's get into some of the games I got throughout this trip. Start with probably the more, well, like, this isn't brand new, I guess it's used since it was already open, but a brand new game. Gears of War Reloaded. I don't actually have the Gears of War on Xbox 360 at the moment. But I grew up playing the original Gears of War several times through. And yeah, this is just, saw this, I knew I kind of wanted it, and yeah, I just picked it up. Disc looks perfect, as it probably should, being only a few weeks old. Yeah, definitely. Picked up a few more things to add to just more Dragon Quest games to own. So it focuses in Dragon Quest Heroes and Dragon Quest Heroes 2. I'm not a big fan of the whole Dynasty Warriors gameplay, but I am a fan of Dragon Quest, so, and the charm of the characters and stuff, and also from what I hear, the first game, it plays more of a tower defense kind of typical Dynasty Warriors kind of game, but Dragon Quest Heroes 2 apparently adds their own kind of, they try to implement more of a RPG gameplay focus into Heroes 2 while still being under the whole Heroes series, so I'd be interested to see where this goes, and just, I guess I'd be interested to kind of see where the story goes, but I do eventually would like to collect all the Dragon Quest Warrior games complete in box. So while I'm on the subject of Dragon Quest, I did come to a shop where they had Dragon Warrior 2, 3, and 4 on the regular NES. At least by their standards, complete in box. I did not open to check or anything because I ended up not picking any of them up. But by that point in the shopping, by that point in the day, we had already been through several stores, and this was like the next to last store, and I couldn't justify paying that right now for what it would have cost, and it might have not even been complete in box as I was looking for. Like, for instance, like with the original Dragon Warrior, I am looking, if I am going to buy it complete in box, I am looking for like all the pamphlets and inserts and stuff that come with it, the Traveler's Guide or mini strategy guide thing that usually came with a couple of the NES games. But yeah, at that point I wasn't ready to spend money on them yet, because the NES games, they would purely be decoration pieces or shelf pieces, just because I don't personally have a way to play regular Nintendo games physically. So, but like I said, big Dragon Quest fan, would like to eventually get all the games and stuff, and just for a collecting purpose. But yeah, these I do want to eventually play at some point though. This is not necessarily something I picked up, but my friend, he had a duplicate because he got a duplicate because this one does not have the manual, so he eventually re-got the game and with the manual. So this was his older copy that he was either gonna trade in or he said I could have it if I wanted it. And yeah, I took this because despite the awful reviews that people talk about this game, it's still something that I eventually think I want to check out. I do have one other Wii game, which is also the Metroid Prime trilogy. I don't actually have a Wii yet. I can see myself picking up a Wii eventually during one of these trips, though. Because I also have a GameCube game. I'd like to start getting GameCube games, and a Wii seems like the better way to play them games. While we're on topic of consoles, I'm not going to show this, but I also picked up a PS2 Slim that had a new laser put in. I was assured that they had just, at least the person said they had just put a laser in that particular system to get it ready to be sold. So it was refurbished and seems to be working good. It reads all disc. I tried PS1 games, PS2 games, Blue Disc PS2 games, and I tried movie DVDs, and all of them seem to read pretty well. Haven't tried music CDs yet, but I'm sure that will be fine. That's just something I forgot to test on it, but I'm excited about that because it gives me my old PS2. It stopped reading PS2 or DVDs, so I'm excited because I also have a RetroTink 5X Pro to hook up to my modern TV and upscale my PS2, so it looks all nice and, well, as crisp as the original hardware can put out anyways. Have it running through its nice component cables, and yeah, that was probably a weird transition to talk about that, but I was already talking about a Wii console, so let's continue on. We have an Xbox 360, Blue Dragon. Everything looks in good shape. Not a whole lot of RPGs on the 360, but this is definitely one of the more interesting ones. Like, definitely just from the art style alone, it looks like one of the more charming RPGs on the 360. There is Lost Odyssey, which I'll eventually probably pick up. I do like my RPGs, but Yeah, this was just another art design by Akira Toriyama, who also does the art design for Dragon Quest characters. So yeah, this is actually a 3-disc game. They are stacked, but everything looks good. The disc looks good. The manual looks good. Was only like $20, and yeah. This was my most duh moment of the whole entire trip. So, I like Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Played it on the 360. I even hear the PS2 version kinda has its own kind of gameplay, so maybe I'll look into picking up that version as well. But this is the version I played growing up, and I got a lot of the achievements and stuff on it, and I remember it being really fun. Like, you just felt like an overpowered character that you played as. And yeah, so it's fine. It's a cheap game. It doesn't cost, it's like a $5 game. Everything looks good. And the funny thing about that is I bought this game twice on our game trip just because it was so in the back of my mind that, because I picked this up at the first store and a few more stores down the line, I couldn't, for whatever reason, I'm like, I don't think I picked this up yet. Like, it just kind of flew to the back of my mind without even realizing that I already picked it up. So I picked up a second copy at some point today. Like I said, they're just $5 to $8 games, so. And yeah, so that was a duh moment for me, but whatever. It can just go into a trade pile, I guess. Okay. I have 2 more games here. They are, um, do I say they're the most pricey? Cause, I mean, that Nintendo Power magazine was more than one of these things, but yeah, these are my, I guess higher priced items, I guess. So we'll start with another N64 game to add to my CIB N64 collection. I call it a collection, but I played at least 2 of the games. Haven't touched Bomberman 64 yet, but we have WCW NWO Revenge. Yeah. I did open this in the store just to check to make sure that I almost picked up WrestleMania 2000, but they had 2 copies there. Both of the boxes kind of had rough wear and tear. One of them worse than the other, but still to the point where I didn't really want to add it into my collection just because if I'm gonna get a complete box, I'm only gonna buy these once. And yeah, this of course does have its little wear and tear and such, but it's good enough that I am fine with it. It does come with inserts. I'm just, without pulling anything out, because I might make that its own video, but has its own, like, manual. Maybe I can get the manual, but also has the Nintendo Power inserts and stuff. Manual is crisp and not water damage crisp. I just mean pristine. And you got the little actual holder for the N64 game. And yeah, it's really, really good. And I know I called this a high ticket or high price item, but I mean, this was only $40. There is now. Maybe you're chalking that up to the fact it's under the N64 sports line, so it's a sports game. Why would it be that expensive? This, at the time, when this released, this was the best wrestling game on the N64. And WrestleMania 2000 and WWF or WWE No Mercy, which was after WrestleMania 2000, built onto this engine, so they are better. But there are still people that prefer this game over No Mercy. So it's all about just what you like the best. For me, I was more of a WWF person growing up when it came to wrestling, but I enjoyed WCW versus World Tour, or WCW versus NWO World Tour, so much. It was so fun. I had to get this game growing up. I think I got it for Christmas or something one year, or something like that. Either way, I had this game in my original childhood N64 collection. And yeah, it was definitely an improvement, and I am so glad to have it. And just one of the best things I like about just having these N64 games boxed, like, I don't want to go back to loose cartridges anymore. Like, I love having the box. The box is like a heavily, like, marketing posters and stuff like that. It's just gives you very just the I feel like the back of the box marketing is not the same as it is with, say, let's go back to the brand new Gears of War here. Like, there's stuff, but I don't know. It always feels like, I don't know, the blurb messages that they use to try to sell you on the game and on these newer games, just they don't feel as impactful as like the blurb messages on the back of these older games. Like, I feel like this is trying to sell me on the game, where this is just kinda, well, this is in the game, just so you know. We'll just put this on here just so you know this is in the game. Like, I don't feel like they're trying to sell me on anything with the back of the boxes on newer games. And that's just a personal opinion of mine. And I know I'm dragging that out. But yeah, we should get to the main course, as in, gonna complete my collection on this series. I have Dot Hack Quarantine Part 4, the final chapter. I have to give major thanks to my friend, because so when we went game shopping, they had a bunch of shovelware that they was trading in, just a bunch of shovelware like games that he's built up over the years with a few little duplicates put in there but in the end he didn't think he was gonna get the trade-in value that he was going to, and he actually, my friend actually just put some of the trade-in value to pretty much pay for this, so major thanks to him for that. But yeah, this is This is a ridiculously overpriced game. Been waiting years for them to release some kind of collection for the modern day, and watch, after I pick this up tomorrow, they'll announce it probably, and then I'll be like, great. But yeah. But those that don't know, there was obviously part 4, there's 4 games in this specific series. Other 3 aren't too out there expensive, but each game gets a little bit more expensive because as each game released, this was also getting to the point of, or no, as each game released, they also sold kind of worse and worse, so there's not as many copies out there of this game as there is of part 1, so yeah. Anyways, the price that was for this one was roughly $250 for this game. Obviously, I made sure it was complete and the disc looked fine. Manual is nearly perfect. Game disc has been resurfaced. And then you got your DVD, which is a 30-minute episode of an anime tie-in to this game series. So what that means is they created a 4-part anime that ties in directly to this game. So pretty much, say you're playing part 1, the entirety of what's going on in the game on part 1, the corresponding DVD anime is what is happening in the outside world, because game lore, this game series takes place in a online MMO game, and the anime takes place about what's going on outside the game, corresponding to the game that the anime disc was released with. So each of these games comes with the DVD with a 30-minute anime part for that corresponding game. But yeah, this is definitely, and I have the other 3, and so yeah, finally this is complete, and I can go through all the games now. I do think this casing is a little bit funky because the flap on the bottom is always trying to hit the plastic casing on the case itself. But yeah, so these are all of my games. It's been awesome. I know we'll just bop. Yep, this is all. We got the insane magazines. The junk magazine. Yep. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.